Good morning and welcome to the Shielded Prepper. And today we have 3 stories and a scripture. These 3 stories are more about popular culture and commitment. Some people are highly committed to the things that they believe. Are you? Let's find out. Let's get into it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. The Shielded Prepper is here today. I'm increasing the size of my shield, and remember that our shield is our protection, something that we can hide behind in the physical by our advancement of our preps, as well as in the spiritual by the advancement in the increase of our faith, right? Okay, let's get into this. We've got 3 interesting stories. Twitter, these blue check marks are just going to be the bane of these Twitter folks. Twitter to remove the legacy blue check marks starting April 1st. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to have to start ponying up. Elon Musk isn't messing around. He's like, if you desire your blue check mark, I desire $7 a month. If you're a company, it's $1,000. It's $1,000, and I don't know if that's a month or if it was a year, $1,000 a year. The blue check marks currently will automatically transfer. So if you have a blue check mark, it'll automatically transfer over without verification. If you desire a blue check mark, it's $7 a month, and you have to go through a verification process. Yet if you're already verified with your blue check mark now, you go in without it, and you still have to pay your $7. Only paying users will be verified. From what Elon says, he's like, I'm not messing around with this. So Twitter, start charging. This TikTok story, I don't even have TikTok. I don't use Twitter. I very, very seldom use Facebook. YouTube is my primary source of content. Yet when I read about these things, I don't necessarily think about myself because it's not in my wheelhouse. I think about our youth. Specifically our youth. It's a gateway to our youth. Our future, our wealth is connected to our children and this next generation behind us. And TikTok has worked its way in, and many others. And don't think TikTok's the only one. There are many others. Yet let's focus on this one. China hits back on TikTok, says it doesn't ask companies for foreign data. TikTok says they don't ask companies for foreign data. And this came from the China foreign minister. So she got up and started talking in defense of the CEO of TikTok, who just got roasted for, I think it was 4 or 5 hours. And good for them. There should be some aggressive conversation around social media and how to safeguard our kids, because they're hooked on it like a drug. Because inside of us, in our pituitary gland, when we get excited, it releases dopamine, and these small little dopamine hits hook them. They hook them. That's why kids, it's amazing to be around youth. Like their phones, they're 6 inches from their face constantly. Mao Ning, a ministry spokeswoman, said Friday the Chinese government has never asked, and will never ask any company or individual to collect or provide data, information, or intelligence located in other countries through means that are a violation of local laws, she said. Bull Pinocchio. No. Don't believe that for a second. That is a lie. And I learned early on, I remember a professor of mine in college saying, anytime you hear someone make an always statement or an every statement or a never statement, listen to that. It's not possible. I never ask for it. We will never do any of that. We always comply. We absolutely are. Come on. China? Really? No. Don't believe this crap. Not even for a second. The remarks came a day after lawmakers on the House Energy and Commerce Committee hammered the TikTok CEO in a 5-hour hearing on Thursday. Mr. Chu, the CEO of TikTok, had sought to ally lawmakers concerning the security of TikTok users' data, as as well as about whether China influences content in 150 million American users. What? Half of our country virtually is using TikTok, and they're so smart. They're so smart how they build these things and how they use tonality and pictures and flashes and light. And it's a wonderful piece of technology if you look at how it was created, yet it's not being used to glorify anything except to enrich themselves and to search us and research us. So if you're on TikTok, be careful. The travails of TikTok, owned by Beijing-based company ByteDance Ltd, have put it at the center of strained ties between the world's two greatest economic powers. Swelling bipartisan skepticism after the hearing could cloud the app's future in its most lucrative market. Boy, they don't desire to lose the United States. They intend on having their money from us, just like the Silicon Valley Bank and the investment from the CCP that's inside of there, that's all being repaid. I don't know how much it is. Maybe you do. Put it in the comments below. Yet, I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. Rep. Cathy Morris Rogers opened the hearing by asking Mr. Chu to state with 100% certainty that Beijing couldn't use TikTok to surveil United States or Americans or manipulate the content Americans see. And Mr. Chu said, the company is committed to firewalling U.S. user data for all, there's another always statement, for all unwanted foreign access. And we kept content free from any manipulation from any government. Come on. Can't even believe people believe this crap. If you can't say with 100% certainty, Mr. Chu, I take that as a no, Ms. Rogers shot back. The top panel Democrat, Frank Pallone, said he wasn't convinced that TikTok security plans would even work. They won't. I still believe that Beijing's communist government will still control and have the ability to influence what you do, he said. After the hearing ended, a TikTok spokeswoman, Brooke Oberwetter, that's an interesting name, I wonder where she's from, said political grandstanding had dominated, ignoring solutions that TikTok was working on to protect user data and keep content harmful to young people off the site. Come on, Brooke. That's what a spokesperson's supposed to say. She said she is paid to say, we're working on solutions. We're working on solutions. TikTok, it is exactly what it seems it to be. It's an amazing piece of technology that is wonderfully made, and it's designed with a specific purpose. Hopefully you know that. Wake up, nation. Wake up. This one I wasn't sure if I was going to share yet. I'm going to throw it in there because it kind of landed on me in a different way. And this was out of Radar Online. Shame on you, Kamala. VP Harris slammed after congratulating a trans TikToker, Dylan Mulvaney, on being a woman in a birthday letter. Dylan Mulvaney is a biological male that went through reconstructive surgery, facial surgery. I don't know all of the changes that Dylan has gone through. Yet this is a biological man that is living as a woman. And the part that just bothers me is women are being marginalized. They're being marginalized by this overarching flamboyant side of the LGBTQ community and the trans side of this, and men or biological men identifying as women. Kamala Harris is getting raked through the coals for using her time in the Oval Office to send transgender TikToker star Dylan Mulvaney a birthday card congratulating her on living authentically for the past 365 days. So she's 1 year old, or this person's 1 year old. I don't know. It's just difficult for me to see. I look at this as why I protect my family and why I prescribe to a quote that I heard, and I've mentioned this on the channel before, from Travis over at the Prepared Homestead. You guys know Travis with the big beard? And he homeschools his children. He's raising his children, and he says we have to let the concrete harden before we put a heavy load on it. We must raise our kids. They're so impressionable right now. They'll do whatever we tell them. And parents know this. They'll do it. If we tell them often enough, they'll believe it. And they're believing this. They're believing these things. And they're being taught these things in school. Vice President Harris and President Biden recently welcomed Dylan a few months back to the White House, which was documented in Dylan's Day of Girlhood series on TikTok, updating her public transition. This is all out in the open. This is how you do it, folks. This is how you do it. This is how you live authentically as a woman. If you ever watched the stuff that Dylan does, it's reprobate. It is. Dear Dylan, the letter said, I send you my warmest greetings as you celebrate your 365th day of living authentically. The vice president's letter began. Thank you for courageously sharing your story and your journey. Praising Dylan for all she's done for the LGBTQ community, Harris continued, I appreciate your continued advocacy for transgender equality, including during your visit to the White House last year. Though your work as an activist and an advocate for your community, you continue to break barriers and inspire young people across our nation and around the world. This is what they're following. I was talking with Chris Chaler last week or week before last, and we were talking about the percentage of people that think like the Ninja Nation, that are prepared and not scared, that see through this stuff. This is her, or you know what I'm saying. This is Dylan. Pretty. This is a pretty. If this was a woman, you know, this is. You understand? We have to make these choices for our family and for ourselves. There's a great scripture in Deuteronomy 22 verse 5 that a woman shall not wear which pertaineth to a man, and a man is not to put on garments that pertaineth to a woman. Something along those lines. And for all that do so is considered an abomination to the Lord your God. So gender roles are spoken about from the early days of Scripture. Women wear women clothes and dress like women because there are gender roles in our society, and men wear male clothes that obviously gives them a separation. It has nothing to do with having long hair. It has everything to do with how you present yourself. And this is a presentation. And if you believe Scripture, if you believe some of it, you got to believe all of it. It's an abomination. Let's finish this up. We'll get into something better. While many applauded the vice president's gesture, others slammed her, accusing her of erasing women. Shame on you, Kamala. Dylan Mulvaney is a disgraceful representation of what a woman is, a complete mockery. And I have to agree with that. When I watch, it's very flamboyant. It's really like extra flamboyant. It's not even, I don't know women that act that way. I don't know women that act that way. That's a man acting like a woman, or a biological man acting like a woman. And it almost looks like a 1950s housewife type get up, and so committed. Dylan, if you ever hear this, you are highly committed. You are all in, and I can respect a commitment of somebody that's all in what they believe. Even if what they believe is wrong, I respect being all in. One side or the other. Scripture talks about walking the line. And you're having 1 foot over here and 1 foot over here. And Scripture says that the Father will spew you out of his mouth. Pick a side. He says to pick a side. Dylan has picked a side. Have you? I can't even read the rest of these. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, you have a vision for this country, and you're executing it, and it's speeding up, and we can see it. We can see it. And it's not going to penetrate our families. We are going to continue to protect and provide. We're going to uplift, encourage, and this is not about the gay community. If you desire to be gay, be gay. What offends me most is the marginalizing of our women in our country and in our world, and saying that this is a woman, or not being able to identify what a woman is. It's so reprobate. It's reprobate. And today, I'm encouraged because I know that for me and my house, we serve the Lord. Jeremiah talks about this. For me and my house, we serve the Lord. That means my children do not have a choice. As long as they're under my roof, my covering, they don't have a choice. They serve the Lord. Do you speak that and profess that over your family? You have permission to do that. Protect your children. What we're getting ready to walk into as a country is going to make many people's heads explode. And it's going to be way worse than anybody is talking about. I truly believe this. Prepare your family. Start looking for new ways that you can shield them, insulate them in the physical realm, and prepare your heart and prepare your mind for this massive turning that's going to happen. And remember, all of these things we are to count as joy. Dylan, I count you as joy. Scripture says too, that all these things must happen. They have to happen. This has to come. It has to come. Sorry for the intense conversation today. Yet, here's what I do know, that we are prepared and we are not scared. We are conquerors. We are providers. We are protectors. We are increasers. We're motivators. We're coaches. We're recruiters. Send this to somebody. Hit the subscribe button if you've made it this far. It's 17 minutes into this thing. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on Monday. Shielded Prepper is out of here.